Hey everyone, it's Micah Fragrance here, back at it again with another banger video. As always, if you guys are interested in fragrances and fragrance-related content, please drop a sub. That's literally all I do on this channel. And at 4,000 subscribers, which we are less than 15 subscribers away from, I'm giving away a brand new bottle of Paris Corners Coconut Lagoon. This is my best pickup of 2025. It is a very hyped up Middle Eastern fragrance, and I was skeptical about this one, but it's an absolutely amazing summer / year-round, easy to wear, sunscreen coconut fragrance. It's very, very good. One of my lucky subscribers is going to win this fragrance. There is a couple rules. Obviously, one, I have to hit 4K first, which we're going to do pretty shortly. Two, I will put out a short. You have to put a comment on that short, be subscribed. Those are really the only two requirements YouTube-wise. And then the third requirement, you have to live in the continental United States. And if you check all those boxes, you could possibly win Paris Corner Coconut Lagoon. Trust me, you don't want to miss this fragrance. It is so, so good. You don't want to miss the chance at getting this fragrance. I don't know what I just said. It is so, so good. Such a good fragrance. But in today's video, I'm going to be talking about blind buying. Personally, I really enjoy blind buying, and I found a way to do it safely. I'm going to quickly explain it. I look at the note breakdowns, and if there's, I would say 2 notes that I'm kind of iffy on, I do not get that fragrance. Like leather, I just really avoid leather fragrances. I don't like leather. Mango is a note that I've kind of been hesitant on, but I do want to start trying more. But like if I see some notes that I don't enjoy, I'm not going to blind buy that fragrance. If I look through a note breakdown though, and all I see is just notes that I know I enjoy, or even like a similar note breakdown to something that I have, something that I enjoy, you know, I'm more reluctant to get that fragrance. And I would say, you know, doing that, just blind buying fragrances that have really good note breakdowns, that look really appealing to me, that check all the boxes for notes that I like and don't have any notes I don't like. I would say I get like 90-95% success rate. There's only a handful of fragrances that I've blind bought and didn't enjoy. And honestly, I will say a lot of them are niche fragrances. So we're going to start with Middle Eastern fragrances though. Middle Eastern fragrances, I would say as a whole, yeah, you probably could blind buy them. There are a couple exceptions, like some more expensive Middle Eastern fragrances, such as Amouage. That's a Middle Eastern brand, but they charge, you know, $200, $300, $400. But the average Middle Eastern fragrance is going to run you, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 bucks. Coconut Lagoon, 35 bucks probably. All Harmains, Amber Oud, Aqua Dubai, 50 bucks. Latafa Kamarakawa, 35 bucks. These are 3 phenomenal fragrances. They were all blind buys, and they are all, or were all at one point, top fragrances in my collection. These 2 right now, Aqua Dubai and Coconut Lagoon, are top fragrances in my collection. And Kamarakawa isn't right now just because it's out of season, but when it does start to get cooler, I'm going to pull this one out, and I'm sure it's going to be heavy in my rotation. Because Middle Eastern fragrances are cheap, I think you could blind buy them. For the most part, I find Middle Eastern fragrances pretty mass appealing. I get a lot of compliments with them, and they're still generally high quality fragrances. So Middle Eastern fragrances, yeah. I think because they're cheap, because they're, you know, still good quality fragrances, and because if it's a bad blind buy, you're only out 20, 30, 40 bucks, I don't think that they're the worst fragrances to blind buy. So Middle Eastern fragrances, I would say you don't really have to sample them. You can blind buy them. They're not too bad, not too expensive. Designer fragrances are where it starts to get a little bit weird, because you can still get designer fragrances for very, very cheap. Versace Blue Jeans is a $20 fragrance. I enjoy this one, even though it's overhated in my opinion. But a Versace fragrance for 20 bucks, that's really good price. YSL Myself, pretty averagely priced designer fragrance on discounters, of course. Around like 70 bucks for this discounter price. That's what you can expect to pay for like the average designer, I would say. There are some more expensive designers like Dior Sauvage Elixir. You're spending 140, 160 bucks to get this fragrance. So when you do start to get to those more expensive, like 150 plus dollar fragrances, that is really where I say maybe don't blind buy, maybe try and sample something instead. You know, sample what you do want to buy. So like Sauvage Elixir, I mean, at that price, maybe it's not the worst blind buy. But something like Sauvage Elixir, you wouldn't blind buy. I'm just using this because it's, a more expensive designer fragrance. But like, Louis Vuitton, they charge $400, and they're a designer brand, which is kind of crazy. But there are more expensive designer fragrances. That's the point I'm trying to make. Maybe don't blind buy those. I mean, if you really want to, you can. Because like a more expensive designer fragrance is still on average going to be like under $200 discounter price. So not that bad. And for the most parts, designer fragrances are going to be pretty mass appealing. So I think designer fragrances, blind buying them, you're still in a pretty safe realm. I would say, you're probably going to have like at least a 75% success rate. Designer fragrances, they're meant to be mass appealing. They're meant to be sold in large quantities to the masses. So designers and Middle Eastern fragrances, I think you're pretty safe with. Now, niche fragrances are really where it starts to get interesting. As I said, those are where a majority of my bad blind buys have been from. They've been niche fragrances. But also some of my best blind buys have also been niche fragrances. So Mancera's Instant Crush, absolutely phenomenal fragrance. I paid $70 for this 4-ounce. It is a tester bottle. Smells like Baccarat Rouge 540. I didn't like Baccarat Rouge 540 or that scent profile before I got this fragrance, but it's so good. And this is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. Easily, probably top 5 of all time in my collection. Very, very good. And I'm very happy that I got this fragrance. And I'm very happy that I blind bought it when I did, because these testers, they only had a limited quantity. So I'm very happy that I swooped this one up. Now, there are obviously more expensive niche fragrances. City Rhythm Redline 2654, 100 ml is $190. I think as a whole, City Rhythm is a pretty safe brand to blind buy, but again, I'm just trying to give you guys like a good price reference. So like $190 is kind of where I would, 150 plus for a niche fragrance is really where I think I would call it quits, maybe get a sample of. Now, there are some exceptions. City Rhythm is a pretty mass appealing brand. Parfums de Marly is a pretty mass appealing brand, and they're consistently found over that $150 mark. But I would say when blind buying niche fragrances, stick to the cheaper niche brands, Nishani, Imaginary Authors, Mancera, Montal. Some Parfums de Marly fall under that, $200 price range. Sometimes even that $150 price range. So, Parfums de Marly can even be in that umbrella. But I think as a whole, if you are blind buying niche fragrances, stick to the cheaper brands and stick to what seem to be the more mass appealing scents. Don't try and blind buy something that, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't enjoy it. But some people are like, I enjoy it, right? When blind buying specifically niche fragrances, stick to the mass appealing scents, stick to the cheaper brands. My biggest suggestion. But as a whole, probably just don't blind buy Middle Eastern fragrances. I mean, this is the only one on this video that I'm going to say, like, probably don't blind buy. But of course, if you're getting like a Mancera that's under $100 or a Nishani that's under $125, you could probably blind buy them. But as a whole, niche fragrances are going to be not as mass appealing. So be careful with those ones when blind buying. But as a whole, designer fragrances, niche fragrances, pretty blind buy safe. Middle Eastern fragrances, designer fragrances, pretty blind buy safe. And niche fragrances, not really blind buy safe. That's my take. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And let me know what was your best and what was your worst blind buy. I'm very interested to know. I'll answer that real quick. My best blind buy, I'll do my best niche blind buy. Not City Rhythm. Mancera's Instant Crush, absolutely phenomenal fragrance. I love it. And my worst blind buy, something that actually smells pretty similar to this, Montal Arabian's Tonka, had a horrible oud in it and was way too strong. Let me know your best and worst blind buy in the comments below, as well as your take. Thank you all. Please drop a sub and a like for a chance to win Paris Corners Coconut Lagoon. Thank you all. Peace, everyone.